Hardening River was my fourth 100-mile race, but it was my first time doing that distance without any crew or pacers.
Runners, take your mark. Get set, go!
The course is an out and back that starts in downtown Cuyahoga Falls, and the first 3.5 miles are on pavement, which gives a nice chance to thin out before you hit that first bit of dirt on one of the metro trails. Memorial Aid Station, 5.5 miles in, already starting with a little bit of ice. Refilled my water. So far, so good. Nine and a half miles North Hawkins. Rain's really coming down. I got some pretzels and Fig Newton. Sun should be coming up soon. Past Botsam, a little over 15 miles in. With all this rain, at least the heat hasn't been an issue. It's raining so hard, my phone's so wet, I couldn't activate it. It's enjoyable. Going on 4 hours of rain. Mile 21, we just came across some towpath and then like through a farm area. Oh my gosh. The entire trail is like a water crossing. Trying to keep your feet dry just isn't worth it. Muddy slop. And my rain app just told me rain's stopping soon. Just like Vermont. Only we don't actually cross that bridge. We go back into the sloppy trail. Walking up the big hill, up to Oak Hill. I guess that's why it's named Oak Hill. It's a big hill. Looks like a runnable section up here, so better make this quick. Don't think I'm going to change my shirt, even though I'm itching for a dry shirt, but I plan to be wet, and I'd rather have that dry shirt later. Gonna pick up my pack and my new ice thing, which I don't know if I'll need it or not. Heat hasn't been an issue yet, but lots of daylight ahead of us. Leaving Oak Hill, felt pretty good about my change over there. The sun came out, gave a little bit of brightness through the trees. It's clouded back over right now, but I think it's on its way out more. I did get some ice, and I put some ice in my water. Did not do my hand ice yet. This section after Oak Hill, so nice and runnable. All right, leaving Pine Hollow. Took over 15 minutes there in the aid station, 17, 18 minutes. I think it was worth it though. I was getting pretty low on energy. I ate well, but I worked the checklist, which was good because I almost forgot my watch charger and I almost forgot my ice. Checklist helped me remember those things. And while I thought I worked the checklist at Oak Hill, I left that aid station still wearing my belt. Didn't realize it till I was too far out to turn around and go back. So Pine Hollow aid station is right up there. And I left there 3 miles ago. And now I'm right back where I started 2 years ago. Ann and I were up there and we saw Renita and Gerry come through this way. And we were like, what is taking them so long? Well, it's 3 miles of some pretty gnarly trail. I wish I felt more like running. This is extremely runnable trail. Maybe if I start running, I'll feel like running. I think this must be Kendall Lake. I missed a turn back here. Thankfully, people yelled to me. Good running community. I was amazed how you'd be walking along a road or a wide open section, and then out of nowhere the trailhead would appear and you'd be back in the gorgeous woods. Once you hit the old Route 8 or Tiki aid station, then it's just a long, gradual uphill path on paved bike road out to Silver Springs. And you turn around and come back. All right, had a few things I had to fix. Had to, my calves were really bothering me. Nice work. And had some hot spots on my feet. So it took like 45 minutes in that aid station. Used the Theragun, elevated my feet, got some good food, changed my socks. Not having a crew there, I knew I'd need a few extra things to keep me going. And music is a great motivator for me. So I held off using any music till later in the race when I thought I might need it. I picked up my headphones at mile 65 and initiated my new Warm Hug playlist. That worked pretty well. I started moving pretty strong until about mile 72 when a thunderstorm rolled in. The lightning started getting a little bit closer and that made me nervous. And then also the rain started getting harder and it was difficult to see with the headlamp. The demons inside started telling me about all that mud that laid ahead that we ran through earlier in the day. I tried to keep them at bay, but one of the things that was most helpful was texting my very special lady friend who happened to still be up. And she just simply said, future Todd wants you to keep going. Take it slow, take your time. And she was right. So I asked at the aid station, Oak Hill, is there any way I could just take a break and lay down for a minute and let the storm pass a little bit? And Kyle, one of the aid station workers there, said, how about underneath the picnic table? And I said, that sounds good to me. And Kyle built me a fort underneath the picnic table. So I crawled up underneath there and slept for about 20 to 30 minutes, came back out, grabbed a nice Mylar blanket, wrapped it around my shoulders, and took off on my journey to finish the race. The mud was actually worse than I expected it to be. But I made a game of it and just planned to stay upright, which I managed to do. North Hawkins, 10 miles from the finish line. The proverbial mile 90. As I came up the final climb, there were two women looking at this overlook and I said, is the view worth it? And they said, absolutely. Great, thank you.
4 to go get them.
I'll be honest, one of the reasons I picked this race was because my friend Gerry ran it 2 years ago and I knew that it started and ended at Hi Ho Brewing, which was a great brewery. It's a fantastic way to celebrate. And they brew a special beer just for this race, so the long, slow distance, which was really nice. Being my first race, doing it without crew or pacers, I was far from running this alone. I had so much support in training and leading up to this, and so many great well wishes from friends and family. And one of the coolest surprises was my friend Crystal happened to be there at the end of the race. She was crewing and helping out a friend of hers who ran that race. as I was running in, she was standing out there with a big smiling face and gave me a high five and ran around after I crossed the finish line to give me a big hug. Thank you.
100 miles. Let's hear for Todd Chandler out of Kansas City, Missouri.
I saw you. Okay, thanks.
311 racers started the 100-miler, 170 finished, and I finished 114. I'm pretty proud of that. I think I can do it a little faster. All in all, it was a great mental challenge to run the race without any crew or pacers, and I could definitely see myself doing it again because I'd like to make some improvements. I'd like to do it a little faster, be a little bit more efficient in some of the things that I do. But overall, running with a crew is much more enjoyable. This buckle is really big and really heavy, but it doesn't like to stay attached. If you bend up at all, it just instantly falls open. Not very practical. See, the problem is that little nub is too small. You can see on the Vermont belt buckle how it's bent. That holds it in place. And then on the Kettle, that nub is a little bit thicker. But in terms of bigness, it wins. Size matters, but it matters more back here than it matters up here.